All right, folks, it's time to piss off a bunch of people with a topic that is really, really touchy. And I have questions about, I don't even know what the fuck I want to believe myself. But it's interesting enough that I notice things and, they make me question my stance. So, let's get right into it, shall we? Is climate change a thing? Is global warming, or what are we calling it today? That's my thing. I've told people that watch these videos before, I'm very two-sided. I'm a two-face, I guess. I have a lot of I could see many different angles of a topic. I for some reason was born with the ability to see things from other people's perspective and walk in my shoes type of thing. I can do that. And because I can see both sides of a situation, like I said, can make fun of it by saying, what are we calling it today? And also take note of it. Now, the reason that I said, what are we calling it today, is because I'm pretty sure that for all the climate deniers out there, which is apparently a bad word, there's been a lot of descriptive words for this entire topic. You got global warming, and you got climate change, and so on. I don't know them all, but I've heard them. And it's just funny because, like I said, I see things and I think that perhaps there may be a shred of truth to it. Last night, okay, now let's just note that it's fucking February. No, sorry, it's March now. It is March, but never in my lifetime have I ever heard fucking frogs in February. It's frogs in February. What in the fuck is this guy talking about? Well, where I live I live deep in the hills, okay? I don't know if you could tell by this whole getup, but I live in the country. Now, not originally, I don't come from the country. I moved to the country long ago, but nonetheless, live there, and for many, many, many years, more than half my life now, essentially, I have been listening to, in the spring, the coming of the season by way of the frogs. Here in Western New York, in the spring, the frogs, they chirp. It's nighttime, and it's June. What is it, like May? Yeah, May, June. It's starting to get warm. The frogs are coming out and they're looking to mate and whatnot, and they're calling to each other, beep 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 beep. It's when there's 10,000 of them. We have a pond out back at our place, and it's a welcome sound. It's actually something that I personally, both my wife and I look forward to every year. It sounds weird, yeah. These people, they lead an exciting life, but when you have a kick-ass deck like we do, overlooking our pond and a gigantic slice of Western New York. Actually, as you've seen in other videos, when I was putting the roof on my house, I had shot a video showing the view. Anyways, I digress. The fucking frogs, back to the frogs, back to this whole climate thing. The welcome sound of frogs every year brings on the spring, late spring, summer, whatever. And I heard that shit last night. I had gotten out of work. It's the kids' night to go to their church group, and it's kind of like my night to chill a little bit. So I kind of pick a project and, I do that. So it was my car. I was at the car wash and, wiping everything down and whatnot. And in the back of my mind, I kept hearing it. Now, I work in construction, and we do a lot of building projects of new construction where there's many different trades working on one project at the same time. So there's lifts, there's trucks, there's HVAC guys, fucking alarm system people, and beeping. Beep, 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 beep is just very, it's commonplace. It's almost so that I shut it out. Like, there could be guys on the 5th floor of the building that I'm working on now, fucking around with fire alarms and whatnot. Now, that's a very, I'm maybe a few floors away, so I hear it faintly, beep, 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 and there's some guys out in the outside doing something with the siding or whatnot, and their lift is moving, so it's beep, beep. The tone, the frequency, believe it or not, is almost in the same universe as frog chirping. So like I had said, it was just kind of in the back of my mind for a few minutes, and then finally, I was like, what the fuck? And I just stopped everything. I turned my radio down, and near the car wash, there's a fucking swamp or something back there, shit area where there's water and whatnot. Sure enough, at the end of February, frogs are coming out thinking it's fucking May. Now, here we go with climate. I had watched Tucker Carlson the other day talk with Bill Nye the Science Guy. See, I feel bad because I believe in some things. A, I think that humans impacted this planet over the last 100 years more than space and time and nature has impacted it over the course of its existence. There, I said it. I do. I believe that over the past 100 and so years, the Industrial Revolution, since we started burning shit really, heavy and, building industry and waste, and I think that we have had somewhat of an impact on our climate. I'm not a fucking scientist. I can't tell you how many, parts per million of this chemical and that chemical have done this and that, but ironically, neither can Bill Nye. The science guy apparently is not a scientist. He is a personality of sorts. So, where does everybody else stand with this? I mean, I think that we have had an impact. And that was one of the questions that what's-his-face was asking him. So, what do you got? What numbers do you got? How long do you think that it would have took for Earth and its natural element to get to this point? And, without our influence and so on and so forth. And there were really no answers given. It was almost like listening to some fucking liberal Democrat try to filibuster their way around, I don't even know, anything, any kind of screwy topic that they think is relevant. And I don't know, I see, like I said, the whole bipartisan thing, yes, I follow politics, and yes, I read into the different things that, different sides value. I like President Trump. I like what's going on there. However, I don't like he says the words clean coal. What the fuck is clean coal? Can anybody explain that? Let's go there. I suppose that maybe, that's one real question that somebody could throw in the comments if anybody cared to, if anyone's lasted this long. Clean coal? What the fuck you talking about, bro? What the fuck is clean coal? Now, I'm also at the same time not against coal. I don't think. I just think that maybe there's room for some care and concern, but not completely fucking laying waste to this entire industry and source of energy. It's a huge, huge slice of our energy. Well, at least it was, and apparently is so now, at least going to be, coming back into play. But yeah, clean coal. I don't know about that. And you know, there was another thing I wanted to say also before I forget. I don't think that FDA regulations are a completely terrible idea. I think. Again, I'm not a political scientist. I don't really have the time to research all of the aspects, you know, of the what the fuck? What did I say it was? The not the FDA, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. I don't know exactly how much of their organization is necessary versus how much is not, and so on and so forth. However, I do think that there are needs for some regulation, for some, someone to police what the fuck is going on out there. Because even though they're responsible for a ton of shit themselves, as I've read in the news, I just know that if that wasn't the case, if there was no EPA, I think that the possibility of folks dumping all types of shit any old where would be pretty high, right? However, again, because I don't have the time to research all this kind of stuff, that means that I'm vastly ignorant on a lot of it. I've heard stories how the EPA imposes themselves on people that are just doing something stupid, like, I don't know, anything. Like, you can get a fucking ridiculous fine for, say, digging a hole in the ground. I don't, like, just diverting some water, or even containing water, like rain, like it's illegal to catch rain. What? I don't know. But climate change, the whole climate change issue, I just want to raise it because I believe in some of it, and some of it I don't. You know, Al Gore had a hell of a run there, and I'm pretty sure that he's probably still chirping along. You know, the polar bears are floating around on ice cubes. I mean, dude, look. The only rational thing that I've heard from this entire argument was the story of, coastal cities. When you think about it, cities like New York, well, I mean, I don't really know Los Angeles like that, but I know Manhattan, and I'm going to tell you right now, don't take much. A few feet of water, you ain't got far to go. It wouldn't be a big deal to submerge the island of Manhattan and vastly New York City, really. But that seems to be one of the only arguments that I've heard, really. I mean, I noticed that there was a temperature that was a record breaker in Antarctica, or was it, I don't know, whichever one it is. Again, I'm not I wasn't a social studies guy. I wasn't a geography genius. But whichever one where the polar bears were, they were swimming around on ice cubes. That's what they were pushing. Which in itself, I'm pretty sure that's something that there's always what the fuck? It's not just a constant frozen, always whole fucking, there's chunks of ice every fucking where. Yeah, because it's sloughing off some ice. Okay, and yes, polar bears have been known ever since humans have been paying attention to polar bears to swim around and fuck around on smaller chunks of ice, in and out, fucking around, whatever, piece to piece. And but there was a recorded temperature that was a record up there in Antarctica, or whatever the fuck it's called. Oh, look at that, another baby fox dead. That's a shame. But yeah, I don't want to ramble too much. I was just hoping to get that out there so I can get some comments back. I want to get people to tell me what I need to know. I want to be educated on this climate change issue, as it's been the warmest February that I've like ever fucking heard of. And I got frogs chirping before it's even, months before they're supposed to. That's about all.